Welcome to the deep dive. Just take a moment, look around you, the phone in your hand, maybe the stars outside.
Mm.
It's all incredibly complex, right?
It really is. Shaped by forces and histories we hardly ever stop to think about.
Exactly. And today, that's what we're doing. We've got this fantastic stack of sources, all from a 2009 science fiction magazine, believe it or not.
Yeah, and our mission, basically, is to see how things connect. Things that seem totally separate at first glance.
Right, like how technology gets away from us so fast, how Earth stays habitable against pretty astronomical odds.
And then diving into some really deep ethical questions about power, free will, human nature, that kind of stuff.
We're aiming for those aha moments,
Yeah.
insights that maybe make you look at your own world a bit differently. We want to unpack what really matters here and why it should matter to you.
Sounds like a plan. Where do we start?
Okay, let's unpack this first idea from Stanley Schmidt's editorial called Control. He asks this really fundamental question. How fast does technology just become impossible to understand if you don't have the context?
Yeah, it's a great point. We're surrounded by things we use constantly, but the inner workings,
Yeah.
often a total mystery.
And it happens faster than you'd think.
Oh, definitely. John W. Campbell had that brilliant example back in 1948, no copying allowed.
The guided missile one.
That's the one. Picture a missile from the late 40s somehow landing in, say, 1920. The engineers back then would be completely skunked.
Right. No visible engine.
Just a pipe. A ramjet. Needs incredible speed just to work. Something totally outside their experience. And then you've got these weird metal alloys, printed circuits, not wires,
Tiny vacuum tubes.
and germanium components that only function with doping, a concept that would be, well, utterly alien to them.
So the tech itself is baffling. But what about just using it, the interface?
Well, think about a 1920s radio. Pretty simple, right? On-off, tuning dial, volume. One knob, one job, basically. You could figure it out.
You could fiddle with it and get it.
By 1948, radios got a bit trickier. Selector switches, maybe AM, shortwave, multiple scales on the dial. But still, largely understandable through just trying things out.
Okay, but jump to 2009, Schmidt talks about his car radio CD cassette player.
Oh, yeah. Now, that's a different beast. Only two actual knobs, volume and mode. Everything else. Buttons, rocker switches, this digital LCD screen.
Which is blank when it's off.
Right. And the controls do double, triple duty. Like you press the FM button again, and suddenly the numbered buttons aren't presets anymore. They do something else entirely.
And then if you put in a CD, or, heaven forbid, a cassette tape,
The whole display changes. Now it shows tape or CD, track numbers, a timer, and those little shapes on the buttons. Suddenly they mean play, rewind, fast forward.
even changing the bass or treble meant hitting the mode knob multiple times, cycling through options and adjusting fast before it timed out.
It's layers upon layers of function. Think about an iPod back then, almost no buttons. Or a computer now.
Yeah, like Command-N on a Mac does totally different things depending on what program you're in.
Imagine showing that to a 1948 engineer. It would be wildly intimidating. But for us,
You can get it mostly.
we've kind of co-evolved with it or grown up with it. Manuals are thin these days, right? It assumes you know the basics, or you can find help on the screen.
So understanding isn't just the hardware, it's the whole system, the interface, the shared cultural know-how.
Exactly. It's that hidden context Schmidt was talking about.
Makes you think about your phone, doesn't it? What invisible assumptions are baked into just using it every day? What does that mean for the future we're building?
Deep thoughts.
Okay, so from that human-made complexity, let's maybe zoom out, way out.
To the cosmic scale. Sounds good.
Let's talk about the universe, the systems governing whole worlds. Stephen Baxter's story, Formidable Caress, has this amazing concept, an old Earth, where time itself is.
Weird. Stratified, yeah. Time flows differently depending on how high up you are. Like a year way up on this floating platform might only be weeks down on the lowland.
And something like 15, 17 years up on the shelf, this higher atmospheric layer, it's mind-bending.
And the character Tellney, he actually measures this with pendulums. He maps out the distortion.
And finds it's not linear.
No, it's curved, heading towards this asymptotic limit, which means basically time almost stops relative to the outside universe.
Like the story says, Earth is a jar of time stopped up to preserve its children.
Pretty poetic way to put it.
But then Tellney's research uncovers something even bigger connected to this time warp.
The Formidable Caress itself, galactic collisions.
Right. He finds evidence of a first caress billions of external years ago, though only 10,000 years had passed on their shelf. It was this catastrophic rain of light that basically shattered old Earth.
And then later, another near miss, spectacular but less damaging. It raises this huge question, though.
Yeah.
Why is our Earth so stable?
So lucky. Yeah, why aren't we Mars or Venus? That leads us to this science article, Plate Tectonics, Goldilocks, and the Late Heavy Bombardment.
Ah, yes, the planetary thermostat idea.
Yeah.
Earth has this amazing balancing act going on. Volcanoes pump out CO2, warming things up.
And then rain washes it out of the atmosphere, eventually locking it up in rocks and sediments, cooling things down.
But the key ingredient, the thing that makes this cycle work long-term, is plate tectonics.
How so?
Well, that's the subduction process, where plates dive under each other, carries those carbonate sediments down into the mantle. The heat releases the CO2.
Which then comes back out through volcanoes. It's a planet-scale recycling system.
Exactly. It keeps Earth in that Goldilocks zone, not too hot, not too cold for billions of years.
Unlike Venus.
Too hot, lost its water, no plate tectonics, runaway greenhouse. Game over.
Or Mars.
Mars had water. Loads of evidence those river valleys buried ice. But it's smaller. Its core cooled too fast.
Don't say tectonics just stopped.
Pretty much. The crust got too thick and rigid. And without that CO2 recycling,
It froze. But there's maybe another twist to Mars's story, right? The bombardment.
the late heavy bombardment, yeah. Huge asteroid impacts, maybe around 4.1, 4.2 billion years ago. Some scientists think these impacts might have been the final nail in the coffin.
How?
They could have disrupted or even killed off Mars's internal dynamo, the thing generating its magnetic field.
And without the magnetic shield.
The solar wind strips away the atmosphere. And it might have helped shut down the tectonics, too. Just a cascade of bad luck.
Meanwhile, Earth had other lucky breaks.
Oh, yeah. Life itself. Plants making oxygen, tiny sea creatures making shells out of calcium carbonate, pulling CO2 out of the oceans.
Having lots of water helps too, right? Lubricates the plates.
Seems to. And maybe the biggest bit of luck, our moon.
Our unusually large moon.
Exactly. It stabilizes our axial tilt, stops us from wobbling wildly like Mars does. Those wobbles cause extreme ice ages. Our moon keeps our climate relatively stable.
Wow. So our existence really hinges on this incredibly complex, delicate balance of geology, astronomy, even biology.
It really puts things in perspective, doesn't it? It's not just luck. It's this whole intricate system working together.
Okay, so the universe has these vast and different forces. What happens, though, when humans get the power to change things on that scale? To intervene?
Now we're getting into wilderness or paradisey now. Really fascinating and, frankly, pretty chilling story.
We have these two astronauts, Martin and Katerina, on a terraformed Mars, and some mysterious aliens just give them godlike powers.
Yeah, complete control over matter, energy, gravity, even time. Just boom, here you go.
And Martin, his intentions are, well, you could say they're good.
Yeah.
Noble, even.
Absolutely. He wants to end all suffering, stop tornadoes, grow food instantly in famine zones, cure every disease, prevent every murder, every suicide.
He even tries to stop a suicide bomber just by thinking killing is wrong into the guy's head.
He genuinely thinks he's building paradise, eliminating all the bad stuff.
But Katerina sees the danger, right, the intervention itself.
She's deeply skeptical. She warns him about unintended consequences, the whole butterfly effect idea, although maybe on a grander scale here.
She basically asks, if you force people to be good, are you taking away their free will? Is it becoming that Grand Inquisitor scenario?
Precisely. Is forced peace really peace? Is imposed goodness truly good?
And Martin, he doesn't listen. He goes for it.
He tries to implant one simple command into all 8 billion human minds simultaneously. Violence is wrong. War is wrong. You must not hurt others.
And the result is catastrophic.
Utter disaster. It doesn't subtly change minds. It rips them apart. People are paralyzed, driven mad by this psychic assault. The global system collapses.
And it ends in nuclear war. Civilization wiped out because he tried to force peace.
The road to hell, paved with good intentions on a planetary scale. It's a brutal illustration of the perils of playing God.
Marty's guilt is immense, obviously, and he tries this maybe slightly cliched sci-fi fix.
And the information back in time, yeah. His memories of the disaster, hoping his past self will prevent it.
But the ending throws another curveball, doesn't it? About the aliens and Katerina.
It really does. The aliens reveal themselves as these ancient tenders of worlds, engineers of life on Earth, who gave humans power just to see what would happen. Pure curiosity.
Like a cosmic experiment.
And then they tell Martin that Katerina actually sabotaged his plan because she thought they were demons, devils, and her actions doomed Mars and humanity.
But Katerina denies it completely.
Vehemently. So you're left with this profound ambiguity. Who's telling the truth? Was it Martin's hubris or Katerina's interference? Or maybe both? Or neither?
It leaves you questioning everything. What does good even mean if imposing it causes destruction? What's the ethical line when you have immense power?
Huge questions. No easy answers in that story.
So we've seen these grand forces, these massive dilemmas. Let's shift focus a bit, maybe look at perspective itself, how different ways of seeing change everything.
Carl Frederick's The Universe Beneath Our Feet is perfect for that. A brilliant little story.
Tell us about the setup.
Okay, you've got these creatures, the people of the Rippling Wall. Six-legged aquatic beings living under the ice on Ganymede, one of Jupiter's moons.
They have a whole society, religion.
A high priest, Harshket, beliefs about their world, their heaven being the underside of the ice, and this deep fear of something they call the ice god's demon.
Which turns out to be
a human exploration vehicle, an ice borer drilling down.
Oh, so the demon is just us.
Exactly. And the life bubbles they gasp for, thinking it's divine breath. Just oxygen leaking from the human machine. From their perspective, we're the terrifying alien monsters.
That completely flips the script. It's all about where you're standing, isn't it?
Absolutely. Which kind of ties into another story, G. David Nordley's To Climb a Flat Mountain. The setting there is just wild.
Cube world?
Cube world. Literally a cube-shaped planet. And it turns out it's an experiment, too.
Another one seems to be a theme.
Right. Some ancient race set up 6 identical ecosystems on the 6 faces, seeded them with identical life, and just let evolution run for 250 million years to see what happened.
Wow. But even in this bizarre artificial place, human problems still surface.
Or absolutely. You've got betrayal, struggles for survival, people trying to impose their own order like these characters, Leo and Gabe wanting to start a strict new reformationist culture.
So even on Cube World, you can't escape basic human nature.
Seems not. And the story hints at humanity's wider future, too. Out in the galaxy around 2800 AD, AI running societies, using black holes for power.
And nanites for ethical enforcement. That sounds familiar.
A bit like Martin's idea, but maybe more subtle, changing minds to stop violence. But interestingly, the alien caretaker of Cube World, it generally lets people, well, suffer.
Let's let them figure things out themselves.
Yeah. Believes that meaning comes through struggle, through solving your own problems. A very different approach from Martin's Forced Paradise.
That resonates with some points from the reader letters section, the brass tacks. Brian Code talked about phantom tyrants.
Right, those subtle cultural pressures that enforce conformity without anyone ordering it, like tipping your hat or a military salute. Unwritten rules that shape behavior.
And he mentioned Toynbee's idea, too, the cycle of creative groups solving problems, then becoming dominant, resistant to change, until a new challenge forces a new group to rise.
It raises that constant tension. How do you balance freedom and order, especially now, with information technology having such power to influence, maybe even control?
It's a tricky balance, but amidst all this grand cosmic stuff and tech dilemmas, sometimes it's the small personal stories that hit home, right?
Definitely. Like that little gem, the jolly old boyfriend. It's quite funny, actually.
Gina's ex-boyfriend comes back as a ghost.
Yeah, Sergei.
Yeah.
His unfinished business is basically to apologize for how he treated her. But in talking to his ghost, Gina has this realization.
About herself.
About her own intense desire to be married, and how that pressure might have actually pushed Sergei away back when he was alive. It's humorous, but it highlights those really relatable human things. Relationships, self-awareness, understanding our own motivations.
Even with ghosts involved.
Even with ghosts, it grounds everything, you know?
So all these different stories, different scales, from tiny interfaces to colliding galaxies, from forced utopias to crab creatures under the ice.
What really stands out is how much understanding depends on your perspective.
Yeah.
Where you are, what you are, shapes your reality.
How you interpret the signals, whether it's a button on a radio or a drilling machine from above.
And how easily we can misinterpret things or get trapped by our own assumptions, our own cultural phantom tyrants.
So we've gone from the guts of a car stereo to the fate of planets, wrestled with godlike power, seen through alien eyes, and looked into our own hearts. Quite a journey.
It really is.
Yeah.
And what's fascinating is that constant thread running through it, all this tension between the vast, maybe unknowable universe and our very human need to understand, to connect, to control.
Whether that's controlling technology or our environment or maybe even each other, for better or worse.
Yeah.
So what does this all mean for you listening right now? Well, you're navigating this world too, right? A world constantly being reshaped by tech, by events beyond our control, by the choices we make.
Just like the characters we've been talking about, learners in a complex system.
Think about how easily we accept the normal things around us. Earth's stable climate, mostly stable anyway. How intuitive our phones feel now, the social rules we live by.
We take so much for granted.
So here's a final thought. What phantom tyrants, technological or social, might you be accepting without even realizing it? What assumptions shape your reality? And what deep dive could you take into your own world, the choices you make, and the forces shaping them?